Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're joining me from in the world. I'm Melanie from Love Light Truth, and this is the Finding Happiness in Lockdown series. Thank you very much for joining me as always. I do appreciate everybody who joins, whether it's for the live or if you watch it on replay. I really do appreciate you taking the time to come and join us. So, as always, let's just reconnect back to ourselves, our breath, our body. So I invite you to join me in 5 conscious deep breaths, breathing all the way in, and a big out breath, letting out all of today's worries and stresses. Seeing that breath go all the way down to your stomach now. One more. And that just releases all those good feelings, lets go of any stress, negative energy within us. If you want to do more, you can always do more, the more the better. But it just brings us back to ourselves and keeps us calm. So how are you? How's today been? What is on your gratitude list for today? What are you grateful for that the universe has brought you today? For me, I am very, very grateful for the weather still. Again, it was beautiful, beautiful, sky blue, no rain, no grey clouds. I can look out my window here from my office and see nature, see the gorgeous orange and reds of the leaves and the trees, and that I'm thankful for that makes me happy. Second thing I am grateful for today is that the shops and lockdown itself is not as bad as it was last time. The shops are still stocked with items, and we're not queuing for half an hour at a time just to get into the shop. So I'm very, very grateful that life is as normal as it can be at the moment, and that it's not as restrictive or as first lockdown was. And the third thing I'm grateful for today I'm grateful for this house, this home, having a roof over my head. There's so many people that tonight won't be going to sleep with a roof over their head, and it's really, good to remember that sometimes. I think we take it for granted too often. Our homes, our lifestyles, our things that just seem normal to us, but not everybody has a roof over their head right now, and I'm truly, truly grateful for the house that I live in, the home that I have with my family. And so they are my 3 items on my gratitude list today. I'd love to know what yours is. Let me know, drop a link below, comment, let me know. Even if you're watching on the replay, don't be afraid, let me, let us see what you're grateful for, and maybe your items can inspire others to be a bit more grateful for things they hadn't considered in their life as well. So this evening I wanted to just touch on one of many things that can make us unhappy in life, and that is grief. Grief took my life away from me. Grief took all the happiness and joy out of my life. It completely sapped it out of my life, to be perfectly honest. It's only recently that I've even truly felt happiness and joy in the purest essence that it can be. So I lost my granddad when I was 10, and he was a very, very important person to me in my life, and I didn't understand why until, again, very recently when I started this journey of self-discovery. But his death really did affect me, and I now look back with and can understand where I am, where I allowed the grief to consume me. I wasn't the bubbly, fun-loving, full of light energy, that I used to be before he died. Part of me died when he died. I didn't even get to go to his funeral, and that in itself was stopping me from grieving, stopping me from moving on, stopping me from, putting my feelings, expressing my feelings, showing, how I felt. And I therefore wasn't perhaps the cheeriest of teenagers and that part of my life. Then skip forward 13 years and my mum passed away. In fact, it is tonight, in the early hours of tomorrow morning, that is the anniversary of my mum passing. And that was 13 years ago now, and that just seems crazy. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because when my mum passed, the rest of me died with her, really, quite frankly. I became a shell of a person. The pain was just too much to express, to even admit, to acknowledge. The pain of my mum passing was made me numb. It just made me numb to everything in life. I just bobbed along doing what I needed to get by. I was just about surviving, and some days I'm not even sure I did that. And don't get me wrong, I kept going, and you know, I had family around me that needed me to, and I made sure that they were okay. I became the mother figure. And as many of us women do, you know, I took over the role of being mum. Not necessarily day to day, but certainly emotionally. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody else was okay. Which was lovely and fine, and that's good. But, as I say, I went into a hole. A really deep black hole. And I became the shell of myself. I wasn't in a happy relationship, but I stayed because I clung on to, you know, any type of hope of normality. It distracted me from the pain that I was really feeling around the loss of my mother. And I just wasn't happy for a very long time. I didn't really do much in life. I wasted a lot of my life, and when I say a long time, you know, I'm not talking a few months and then we got over it, you know, I'm talking years, as in, well, to be honest, a good 10 years, you know, if I look back and be honest with myself, 10 years before I finally started working on the wounds, on the pain, acknowledging it, and actually started grieving, because I hadn't started the process of grieving before then. I didn't have an outlet to express myself. I didn't have the safety net of people around me to feel like I could collapse and fall even deeper than I was, because that's what grief does. It does, you fall, and you need people around you, the right type of people, whatever that is for you. Everybody's different, and everybody needs different help and support during the grieving process. And it was only 10 years later, around the start of my journey that I'm now on, that I met the people in my life that were able to support me and help hold me as I work through the layers of pain and grief and sadness that I felt. And I still feel sadness now. You know, I've got a tear in my eye when I talk about my mum. When I remember the pain and the loss, you know, it all comes flooding back. But thankfully, I'm now in a place where this doesn't happen every day. It's not all the time. I'm not in a... It doesn't control my life as much as it used to. You know, I looked for love in ways that I shouldn't do. I was constantly looking for something to replace the loss of my mother, and instead what I needed was to process it, to understand it, to acknowledge it, to let it out of its box and feel the emotion and pain for what it really was. And for me, by going deep, going within, and really truly understanding why my mum passed away on a soul level, on an energetic level, understanding how that impacted my life, the reasons and positive reasons why her passing can play a positive aspect of my life, why the soul contracts were in place, and that understanding really helped my ego and my human form and my monkey brain to really understand and be okay with my mum's passing. That doesn't mean I won't cry for her, that doesn't mean I don't miss her, but it gives me a sense of understanding, and understanding is so important in life. You know, in every aspect of life, if we understand something, we can comprehend it better. And for me, understanding my mum's passing, how it had impacted my life, how I'd subconsciously let it control my life, by procrastinating, not doing much, not having the motivation to do anything, not wanting to live, quite frankly, you know, but understanding the threads, the soul contracts, the purpose for her passing at that particular time in her life and in mine, it gave me the freedom to stand up, to switch my light back on, to actually fall in love with the world again, to actually for the first time love living, love being in this world, love the thought of what possibilities lie ahead for me. And these are things I've never actually ever felt before. And this is, you know, within the last, as I say, three years really. And so now I'm at a place where, like I say, I can get up and get on and enjoy my life, and I give myself permission to do that, to be happy, to live on, to carry on with my life regardless of the fact that my mum's not here, and I might miss her dearly, but she is always here with me, and I know I have the strength to carry on. Grief is a terrible thing. The loss of anybody is a terrible thing, and everybody deals with it differently. But for some, like me, grief can just completely control you, can completely rip your world apart, and like I say, turn that light off. It zapped every happiness, joy, energy, motivation for living out of me. And I lived like that for many, many years. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that and let you know that if you have experienced the same, if you're going through the same, if you know someone that is, if you feel like you are in that period of being trapped by grief, of loss, then there is light at the tunnel, or at the end of the tunnel, as they say. It won't last forever, which may be hard to understand at the moment, but if you want to and you're willing to, you can heal the pain and the loss. And the good news is that you don't have to wait as long as I did if you don't want to, because there are ways to do it, and I'm proof of that. So I just wanted to acknowledge that there is happiness after a loss, there's happiness after grief, there is happiness at the end of the rainbow, and no matter how dark or deep or intense it gets, or however long the darkness lasts, if you want to, because it has to be your own choice, there is a way out. And the first step is by acknowledging how much pain you're in, and then searching for somebody to help you unlock your soul again, find that light within, and help look back at understanding the reasons why that person passed and how it affects you, both positively and how it may have affected you negatively. So yes, you know, it could be me if that resonates with you, but there's different ways in which you can do that, whether that is with hypnosis, whether it's with past life regression, whether it's soul-focused healing that I work with, or whether it is a traditional counsellor and psychotherapist. Everybody is different. And I'm not here to judge, I'm not here to tell you one is better than the other, because everybody will find different services and healing methods work better for some and not for others. But the overall message I just wanted to share was that I may not look like I've but I have, and I was very good at masking it and hiding it. And if you're doing that too, if you're masking it, if you're hiding it, if others around you don't truly know what's going on inside, then there are safe places you can come and discuss and talk and heal without disclosing it to all your friends and family. It doesn't have to be a public thing, you know, it's just something that you can do in private and come out the other end and find your joy again, find your light and happiness. So I'd just like to thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I dedicate this video to my mum, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening of happiness and joy. And until next time, take care. Bye.